Here are my top 10 tips for better online meetings. At the middle of March in this year, everything changed for us. We stopped being in rooms on the whole, and we went, if you work in an office, you've gone online. So a lot of our stuff has gone online. And right overnight, we've suddenly become TV presenters. Whether we like it or not, that's the reality. So here's a few tips that helps us. Now we're kind of in this box that we probably don't want to be in and would rather be in a room, but this is the reality. And me in the camera is me looking at you, talking to you. This is me being in an online meeting. So here's a few little tips. First thing is to check your background. I go with a pretty plain background, a black one, which is just a blind from IKEA, but check your background. Your house can be an absolute mess. It just needs to have a 6-foot space that's tidy so you don't embarrass yourself. So have a look behind, record yourself so you can see, take a screenshot so you have a look at what's behind you. There's tip number one. Tip number two is eye level is buy level. So when you go into a shop, if they want you to buy something, they have it at your eye level. For me, that would be 5'9", right? It'd be about eye level. So this camera here is at the level that I'm looking at. So when you look at the camera, you're speaking to your colleagues. If I look down as if I'm looking at them on a screen, oh, hi there, I lose the eye contact. So don't look at them on the screen, but look at the camera, because when you look at the camera, you're in effect speaking to them directly. So eye level is buy level. Look at the camera, not at the screen. Next tip, smile more than normal. I've discovered over lockdown and working remotely that all of a sudden my resting face isn't quite as, how can I put it, as smiley as I'd hoped it would be. I just have a northern male resting face and I can look quite grumpy. I don't think I'm an unhappy person at all, but my resting face can look a bit grumpy. So be aware that you may want to switch off your camera occasionally, and be aware that your resting face can look pretty dour, can look pretty grumpy. So smile more than normal when you're online. And what I tend to do is I stand up, particularly if I'm teaching and stuff, because it gives me that energy and it helps me to sort of smile and engage and all that kind of stuff. So smile a little bit more than normal. And a couple of quick tips, of course, mute yourself so that you don't get embarrassed and take phone calls and stuff like that. But also be ready to unmute yourself quickly. How many times do we say every day, can you just unmute yourself? Oh, you're not muted. The next tip is to plan what you're going to say. So if you're in a meeting, you plan what you're going to say. That's really important. So spend a bit of time planning and just say it concisely. Everyone should be briefer than normal now that we're online. So be briefer than normal. Don't have long meetings that don't go anywhere, and hold each other accountable. Can we cut to the chase, please? Can you do everything in 5 minutes instead of 15 minutes? Because we have limited sort of bandwidth in our heads. We're all dealing with stuff, we're all dealing with this pandemic and everything that goes with it. So we need to be a little bit briefer in meetings. So a 1-hour meeting, can we get it down to 50 minutes or 40 minutes? Because in a lot of cases, I think we probably could. Then maybe some people, and some of my clients have been telling me they've started meetings a bit early just for that catch up. And they just let them go on a little bit just for the catch up. Because we're not bumping into people in corridors anymore. We're not having those water cooler moments or making coffee and tea in the office with somebody. So just build that into the online meetings. Just pop online for 5 minutes to have a chat with someone, or just start every meeting 5 minutes early for that chit chat. Because some people, particularly if they're quite extrovert like me, would actually really love that. So, keep the meetings brief, but add little bits of social interaction as well. And at the Professional Speaking Association that I'm a member of, over the last 6 months, every Friday at 11 o'clock, we've been having a catch up and coffee with a load of other speakers. It's been great. So maybe build in some coffee time as well. And then maybe a little bit of a challenge in these sort of challenging times. Maybe you should start with some good news in your meetings. How to run a better online meeting? Maybe instead of, because we're always dealing with problems most of the time, maybe you need to start with some good news. Could you have 5 minutes? What's going well? What did you do last week that went well? Start with some good news and watch the whole meeting start to change. The outlook of the meeting will change, and it'll take a whole more positive approach, and you might find that really useful. So start with some good news, not just the problems like many people seem to do. Yeah, keep the agenda moving. Agree some action points so you get things done, and don't have back-to-back meetings, 9 till 10, 10 till 11, 11 till 12, a 3-minute lunch, and then back into the next meeting. Stagger the meetings, have some time, shorten them, stagger them, so you can have break time, so you can walk outside, so you can become more energized, because being online all day is not particularly productive. I haven't got time to go into that all now, but it's not particularly productive. So be aware that you need to stagger stuff, that you need to have breaks, because when you have a break, you come back and you will be more efficient. And generally just understand that we are online. It won't last forever. We'll always work remotely, who knows, but there will be online meetings and there'll be offline meetings. But this is a season that we're in, so let's make the most of it by keeping the eye contact, keeping things short, and making sure we have lots of interaction and learning the technology. So there you go, a few tips for better online meetings. Thank you. Enjoy. Have a look at my website. It's leejackson.biz. That's leejackson.biz. See you again soon. Cheers.